Welcome back, dear friends. And in today's session, we are going to discuss a very popular story, The Shroud, written by Munshi Premchand. Dear friends, we will discuss the main plot of the story. We will also learn about why Premchand picked this topic and what is special about this story. Before going into the story, it would be apt to know something about the writer Munshi Premchand. In fact, The Shroud, which was originally written in Hindi and the title was Kafan, it is considered to be a landmark story by Premchand. Premchand, he needs no introduction. You all know about him. Born in 1880 and died in 1936. His real name was Dhanpat Rai Srivastav, and we can say he is, in true sense, a pioneer who, in his works, portrayed Indian sensibility with untouchable, unmatchable skills. Dear friends, Premchand, we can say he is the best writer in Hindi who has basically developed the art of short story writing. But it is not only short stories. In fact, he has written novels, dramas, and volumes of short stories which all display his great knowledge of human psychology, the impact of social economic conditions on individuals, and deep empathy for the poor and downtrodden. This is actually the hallmark of Premchand's story. He was very much concerned about the socio and economic background and situations of the country of the time, and in various short stories, in various novels, he has presented the plight, especially of farmers, of laborers, even women also. So we can say he is, in true sense, a progressive writer. Seva Sadan, Godan, Premashram, Rangbhumi, Karmbhumi are his famous novels, and Mansarovar is the collection of his short stories. So this is basically a little introduction about Premchand. Now, dear friends, today we will discuss about his story, The Shroud or Kafan, which is written, we can say, in a satirical, in a humorous way, but it hit the nail on the head by talking about certain customs, and most importantly, it is a signature style of Premchand where he talks about the chilling effect of poverty on individuals. So, The Shroud is one of the most popular stories from the pen of Premchand. It highlights the numbing effect of poverty on human emotions. Through the characters of father-son duo, these are the main characters, Gheesu and Madhav. Premchand has shown how years of exploitation, continuous exploitation, can harden every fine human feelings. It is supposed that human beings are different from other animals or living beings because they have certain finer feelings, because they live in a society, a civilized society. But years of exploitation, they basically, how they affect the human emotions, these all are beautifully portrayed by Premchand in this story. The story begins with Budhya. Budhya is Madhav's wife. She is breathing in labor. She is in labor pains in the hut, while Gheesu and Madhav, father and son, they are sitting outside in agitated, nervous condition. When Gheesu asks Madhav to go inside and take a look, take care of his wife who is in a sort of agony, Madhav refuses. Madhav says Madhav is not interested and not interested moving into the hut, saying he can't tolerate the screaming, he can't tolerate looking at his wife in this condition. Now, what is the actual reason? It is not that he can't see his wife in the pain. The actual reason is that both are infamous in the whole village for being shirkers. They are such lethargic persons, such lazy dolers that they don't have an aptitude for work. Idling here, they would just pass their time idling here and there and doing some petty jobs when it is almost urgent, when they can't go on living. Only then they do some petty works like cutting woods or doing something like that. earning little and somehow carry on their business of living. In fact, in village there is no lack of work, but both of them prefer to remain hungry like an ascetic person than toiling. And this is the reason they don't have any sort of materialistic possessions. Their heart is devoid of even the basic luxuries of life, but they are most important thing like ascetic. They don't want to improve their conditions. They are happy with whatever they are getting. Now they have become totally indifferent to the insults and taunts of the villagers which are heaped on them, and live without any worry even though they don't have any material possessions. Now this is what happens when they see that farmers who are working, even those farmers are not getting any rewards, so why should they work? Now, Madhav got married recently. Gheesu lost his wife or Madhav's mother quite a long back. Madhav got married last year. Budhya, she, the poor soul, she tried to brought some sort of order in their life, and it was supposed that now they will attend some responsibility. But what happened? She failed to inspire them with some sense of responsibility. They are still the same persons. Even now, when she lays almost dying, she is in such a miserable condition, pangs of labor pain, both sit indifferently. They are totally indifferent to her pain because they are trying to eat roasted potatoes which they have stolen from someone's farm. This is now. They both are afraid of this fact that the one who will go to attend this woman, he will miss the share. So they both are sitting, they are trying to eat these roasted potatoes which they have stolen. None of them wants to go and check on Budhya because he fears the other might swallow all the potatoes. So both ask each other to go and look at her, and both make excuses for not doing so. They eat hot piping potatoes, burning their tongue, and Gheesu has seen the world. This is what happens, in which the life of hard working peasants is not much different from theirs life, and in which the landlord class gets rich by continuously exploiting the poor. As such, he seems fully content with the life he is living without being least disturbed by worldly concerns. You can understand that by eating these potatoes, they are pointing out that they are not in the least disturbed by the fact that one of their family member is actually almost on the verge of death. This shows that how this utter, we can say, poverty has bereft them of any sort of human emotion. Both the father and the son, totally untouched by any sense of responsibility, only pay attention to hot sizzling potatoes, each trying to have maximum share, not caring if it results in burning of their tongues. Now, this taste of hot potatoes brings to Gheesu's mind the memories of a wedding which he attended years ago. They both enjoyed even the memory of that feast. Madhav was not there, only Gheesu attended the wedding. It was the feast at Thakur's marriage, and the memories of the delicacies, hot puris, many vegetables, savories, kachoris, mithai, all these that were served again and again to the villagers, and he enjoyed that time. And still, even the description of that memory brings water to not only to his mouth. Even Madhav says that, oh, I wish that I could also have such an opportunity to fill my belly at least once in a life. Gheesu gives such rich description of the wedding feast that Madhav begins to desire to have such feast for him once. Talking thus, they fall asleep, once again ignoring the painful moaning of the poor women inside hut. Now, friends, next morning when Madhav enters the hut, he is shocked to find that Budhya has died in her labor pains She even didn't deliver the baby, and he comes out crying. And Gheesu, when he comes to know about this fact, they both start wailing loudly, thumping their chest. All the, we can say, they are now showing that how much they are in shock, and they are in this loss of that particular woman. The neighbors, they duly come and suggest Gheesu to perform the last rites. The father-son duo, they show themselves completely helpless, because they say we don't have anything to manage this her last rites. They then arrive at the gates of the village headman, who loathes the very sight of them. They have such a bad reputation, dear friends, that he cannot see them, because he knows that whatever they do, they will always try to cheat him. Gheesu tells him that his sob story, and that how they both tried everything to save the life of that poor woman, and in this process they have spent all the money they had. Then he asks for some help, that give me some money so that I can arrange at least a funeral in a proper manner. And Jamidar, though he is not interested in helping them, but this is such an occasion, the circumstances of the death, that even knowing their true intentions, he can't deny it, and he gives them some money. Emboldened that Jamindar has helped them, they collect money from all rich persons of the village, and taking the name of the Jamindar that he has helped, and ask them to collect money. He collect unwillingly, they give him money, and in the evening they have quite a hefty sum. Soon they have a good amount to buy necessary items for a decent funeral. Some neighbors give them wood, some give them grain, and now Gheesu and Madhav, they decide to go to market to buy a shroud for the body. Talking nonsense about customs, that how useless it is. It is one of the punch of the story when Madhav says, isn't an ironical or ridiculous thing that when a person is living, he or she lives in tatters, but when he or she dies, they require a new shroud. So he says that it's a quite a ridiculous custom. Talking in this manner, they pass whole day wandering finer. They go to different shops talking about the quality of shroud. Not once they are seriously interested in buying a shroud. And finally, as if their destiny has prodded them, they arrive at a liquor shop, and Gheesu orders for a bottle and some snacks. As they start drinking, they start to feel drunk. Madhav innocently asks Gheesu what they would say to the villagers if they don't get a shroud. Shamelessly, Gheesu is very much, experienced. He replies they would need excuse, any excuse. Either they will say that they have lost the money, or something like that. And all these rituals, according to him, are for rich people who can afford paying for such things, not for these peoples. They order some more food, a luxury they rarely can afford, fritters, puris, and all these things. And Gheesu philosophically says, Budhia must be feeling happy in her new abode, because she can see that her husband Madhav's wish to have a feast is finally fulfilled, and so they should not feel any guilt about it. Enjoying the meal, Madhav once again asks Gheesu if they have to burn Budhia without a shroud. Gheesu assures him it won't happen. The villagers won't allow this thing to happen, because it is, case of rituals. So it won't happen. The villagers may not give them money this time. They may arrange shroud themselves, but Budhia would have a shroud for her dead body. Thus, they revel in drinking and eating and getting more tipsy. When they have completely filled their bellies, they offer the leftover to a beggar, asking him to pray for the soul of Buddha. It is the first time in their life that they experience the joy of giving. Dear friends, this also shows a very, psychological thing, kind of thing, that when they have completely satiated themselves, they want to have this experience, that what it feels when you give something, and the beggar is also, astonished by having this good luck. Madhav, in his inebriated state, becomes sentimental, starts weeping for his dead wife that I haven't done anything for him. And Gheesu tries to console him once again, philosophically saying, Madhav should not feel ashamed because sad or ashamed, because Buddha is actually now free from all the web of illusion, Maya, which is considered one of the fact Indian philosophy, that this world, this living life is Maya, and Gheesu says at least she is free from all the Maya. Now, in their drunken state, they begin to dance, and everyone watched the pair dancing until they collapse on the floor and fall on the ground. So this is how the story ends. Now, a very important thing is that Shroud is a sharp satire. Though it is very easy to feel very bad for these characters, to dislike these characters, but actually it shows the chilling effect of poverty and the non-stop exploitation of the poor. Gheesu and Madhav, they both have become numb to any emotion and fine human feelings because they see everywhere how poor suffer from the hands of the rich. They know that working for rich is a sort of a trap from which they can never be free, and thus they are shirkers and they enjoy their life on their own terms. Premchand has very aptly described how human beings become callous, indifferent, we can say emotionless, when they realize that there is no hope for them. Gheesu knows that even if he works, he will be exploited. So it is better to live a life free of any responsibility. In the end, I would like to add one thing. The shroud can also be taken as a metaphor for customs and values with which the rich class tries to cover the ugly truth of poverty and which Gheesu refuses. So that's all for this story. We will soon meet in our next session. Thank you, friends.